Hey divers. Hey skydivers.
Hey skeep divers.
Skeep diving. Hey divers.
Oh, it's Gordy. Hey divers. Thanks for coming to check out our episodes, our shows. Like and subscribe at the button below. Do it again. Like and subscribe. No, you going like this. Look, man.
Deep Skydiving Podcast at gmail.com.
Look, man, y'all know where to find us.
Skeep Divers.
It's Deep Skydiving Podcast at TikTok, IG. But really, man, we just need y'all to like and subscribe and share these things, man. Share these episodes. If you got something from it, if you liked it, if you just want somebody to hear it, share it.
Share.
But like and subscribe, definitely. We don't ask you for nothing. We just ask you to subscribe. Tell the people you love them.
I love the people. Peace.
Enjoy the episode.
Welcome to Deep Skydiving. Deep. But here we are, Deep Skydiving.
Skeep diving. Yeah.
Deep Skydiving, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
The podcast.
You want a break?
No, I want you to pray today.
All right. Father, give us energy.
Yes, Lord.
Give us pure thoughts. Give us everything we need to be able to come here at this time, Father, and be effective and be progressive, to encourage, to lift up, to edify on this episode of this podcast. Forgive us for our sins. I ask even for the listeners, people who are listening on, that you'll forgive them for their sins, Father. I pray that they'll come and ask you for themselves for forgiveness of their sins. Let them know there's nothing that is unforgivable. Pray that they'll be able to show them how to release and show them how to be able to forgive themselves for things. Yes. Whatever it is they're struggling with, things they feel like they can't come back from, Father. Let them know that they're forgiven by you, even if man can't forgive them. And I ask that you give them people, Father. Let people have people in their lives where they'll have accountability and they'll have love and they'll be able to experience fellowship, because that's what we need. You build us for relationship. You made us for relationship. And a lot of us, we get lost out here and we deal with depression and these different things that'll just hold us back because we isolate ourselves. So I pray that you give people that they could just confide in.
Yes, Lord.
And they'll just start building healthy relationships, Father. And we'll be able to grow healthily and produce healthy communities, Father, healthy environments. Healthy communities make healthy cities, which make healthy counties and healthy states and a healthy country. So, man, just do what it is you would do in us, man. Use us. We're willing vessels at this time. Love on us, Father. Give us pure thoughts. Give us ideas. Let us cultivate great ideas and thoughts. Give us things that never even came to our mind before even this episode, whatever it's going to be about. But just have your way. I ask that you be pleased with us. Let our actions please you. Let our faith be even more pleasing towards you, Father. And I thank you. I love you. We love you. And thank you that you loved us, man. Continue to show us our way. And it's in Yahushua's name I ask you all these things. Amen.
Amen. Before we go any further.
What?
Are you okay to do this?
I'm good.
Okay. I just making sure. I have to check in, honey, because all
you
of this.
You should ask me that before the camera was rolling.
It doesn't matter if this camera is rolling, honey. We could have 20 minutes in and you tell me that you ain't feeling it. I will literally be like, all right, let's start.
I'm good.
Okay. I'll edit that out.
You don't got to edit out.
Why?
Leave it in there. It's authentic.
Yes, I wanted to check on you. All right. Welcome to another episode of Deep Skydiving. Deep skydiving.
She be feeling it.
I do. I look forward to saying that every episode. What's up?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. How your week going so far?
Oh, man. It's been a tough week.
That's good.
It's a lot.
Been a tough week?
Yeah, it's been a tough week. A lot going on.
Yeah, I mean, I could agree with you. Definitely not personal for me though. Like, more just my heart just bleeds for a lot of people who are just experiencing loss right now. So many people that are just like, whether it's due to death or like, a lot of older people are like losing their memory,
Yeah.
which is almost harder because, at least with that, like you're looking at the person like, do you remember me? Do you know? The people who are mourning the loss of their minds, basically. And even for that person, they don't know who they are. Like we talked about, me and one of my clients were talking about how some people have displaced anger. So they're really angry at the fact that they don't remember anything, but it comes off as them being mean to their loved ones, which is really, really hard. So shout out to all of you guys who are caretakers of people who are experiencing dementia. Like, we're here praying for you, loving on you. Like, we know that it's really hard. And all those people who are experiencing loss right now, God bless you. And we definitely are praying that the Holy Spirit brings you comfort and peace.
Amen.
But yeah, still a solid week though. What did we talk about last time? Last topic was, I can't remember.
Feeling safe in relationships.
Ooh, yes. And that was a good one. I did enjoy that episode. Yeah. Did you have anything to add?
Man, I can't lie. I ain't even giving no thought after we recorded it.
Yeah, I feel like it was very. I feel like it was really thorough though. Like we didn't really have to add anything. But you know what I really liked about the episode is that sometimes I bring it up in the shop, like what we talked about, and some people have never thought of some of the points that, like when they think of safety.
Oh yeah.
Like some of them, like, oh, I never even thought of, like, yeah, that is right, and most of it was. Yeah. Yep. Most of it was in regards to men, though.
Yeah. I could believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't delete. Oh, all right. Yeah.
So, a lot of men were just like, you know what? I didn't even think about it like that. Like, how a woman can protect us and so forth and so on, or we can feel safe with a woman and so forth and so on. Yeah,
we never think about it. Mm-hmm. Like we don't know what it is that hurt us a lot of times. Mm-hmm. Because we talk it out, we're able to identify it. But a lot of times we don't know what it is that hurt us. Like we don't know to say that I'm not protected by you.
Right.
Like you share all my information. We just look at it, we attack. Man, you can't keep your mouth shut, but you're not identifying why you feel the way you feel. Like if at the core of it, your privacy was protected by your woman, you wouldn't feel the way you feel. Mm-hmm. At the core of it, you knew that you could be vulnerable with her and she won't use it against you. It's a protection thing for us.
Yes. And I do like, now that you just brought that up, like I do feel like that wasn't something that we necessarily brought like out so that it is, something that we talked about, something that, was highlighted. Yeah. It was that aspect. Like both parties in the relationship can feel unsafe if you're constantly out here like jibber jabbering about what's happening inside your home. Or inside of the relationship.
Man, how did this happen? Go ahead, continue.
Okay. So I think, I can't remember who I was talking to about that, but it was in regards to just feeling like you have that sort of level of safety within your relationship, because once you tell someone that what's going on, 9 times out of 10, the people who you talk to are never going to forgive that person, because whoever you're telling, they're loving on you. They be like, I don't love them. So, people are just not forgiving in that way. So most of the time it's one of those things where it's like, let us work it out together. And that was one of those things that I like. It took me a second to really understand. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because
especially if you share my information with your friends that I don't rock with.
That part. And then like you hearing it from them, like, and you can tell, like I've talked to somebody before about how like you can tell like the tone shift sometimes, like, or the energy shift when a person who nobody likes because you've told everybody that, like, you know what I'm saying, he cheated, comes around.
But that's why I've said before, and I will always stand on this, I can't be with a woman if I don't like her friends. And if I don't trust her friends, if I feel her friends don't have sound judgment, which this is probably wrong for me to say, I feel like, I'm not gonna say most,
Mm-hmm.
But many women friends, I feel like, are that way. It seems like every good girl has like foolish friends or something.
Oh. That's really blankety.
Yeah, it is. It's probably not fair.
It's not. But I mean, there are some women who would agree, but on the other end who would say like, you know, I can never trust my man's friends or whatever, or like there's always this really good dude and he can't introduce you to nobody because they're all dumb. You know what I mean? Like they're all like,
and that is fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe I see it too. But I mean, I see it both ways. I mean, I wouldn't put many people on with my friends, my single male friends.
I've heard that so many times.
I mean, I don't hang with them. I'm really using friends loosely. I don't really use friends loosely, but I'm just saying the guys that I know that I'm cool with, many of them I wouldn't. Yeah. So,
and that's fair. But yeah, so with that being the notion, like I can get that. I can get why you wouldn't want to be, you know, in a relationship with somebody who does have these foolish friends, because of course they are going to influence her and tell her stupid little things. Was it you that told me
what?
that you no you said you had a friend who he would always know when his girlfriend had talked to her sister, his wife, excuse me, had talked to her sister, because she would always say some really like radical things.
She come from left field with some stuff. You're like, man, you been talking to your sister, haven't you?
Yeah, I had a client, same thing. He said, I always know when she's talking to her dumb friend. He doesn't like any of his girlfriend's friends. Yeah. And he was like, I know when he's talking to her, she's talking to her friends, because like she, like one time she was like, you know, are you cheating on me? Like out the blue. And it's just like, because
your dumb friends having them problems.
Exactly. Or they say things like, girl, I don't know how you with a man who don't celebrate your birthday. And it's just like, but you're not with a man at all. So what are we, like, what's the conversation? What are we talking about right now? It
doesn't matter. People not even taking that position, though.
Right.
They're being influenced by what's said instead of defending their own relationship.
They are. Yep.
I mean, whatever. Yep. I don't deal. That's why I make it my business. People say I'm picky, or maybe I'm not gracious enough, whatever. If I don't like your friend, I'm not dealing with you. If I don't like how you talk, I'm not dealing with you. Cool. If I don't like how you treat people, I'm not. Others that you don't know, I'm not dealing with you.
Yeah, I'm definitely not dealing with somebody who don't know how to treat people. So, with that being said,
we could be cool, but
for sure,
you can't be mine.
What we say, we can love people, we don't have to like everybody.
There you go.
We just don't have a very long list.
I don't like a lot of people, so
yes,
it's very few people. My life is not who I like and who I don't like. It's
exactly
who I don't like and who I don't like as much as the people that I really don't like. So. It's probably like a hand. I'm talking about, I could count on these hands how many people I actually like.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I used to be like that. Where there was like a very short, like the people who I don't like and the people who I like a little bit more than.
No, so I don't like everybody. That's been my disposition for the longest. So I already don't like you. All you're doing is bringing the don't like down. So, you know, I just don't like you. I just don't like you a little bit.
You definitely.
Which is good.
Energy.
Which is good. You know, I just don't like you a little bit.
What does the teacher say? You start off with an A. For you start off with a don't like.
Yeah. You start out with a don't like, and you can bring that down.
Yeah. You either can, I can not like you more.
See, but the thing is, I'm just saying that just being honest.
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't treat people like I don't like you, though.
Right.
So you don't know that I don't like you. When you know that I don't like you, that means I really, really don't like you.
Like, it's like bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, it means like you started at don't like, and if I'm treating you like I don't like you, that means you went to mother sucker.
You soared.
Yeah, your don't like went up more.
Got it. Got it.
Don't like is like it's like the average for me. It's like a C.
Screwed.
Yeah, it's like a C. You still passed the class, but you know, you could have did
better.
It's
not because it's not because you did anything. Like you literally just came to class and that's what you got. So that's all I got as far as the safe aspect. What about you?
That's what I think I did listen to it. I can't remember right now, but no, I think it was all in all a good episode. I think enough was said. More will come out in the future.
Yeah, I'm sure people will probably have questions or comments or concerns. But what is our next topic?
I will read it as it is written. Our next topic is it okay to be jealous? Does jealousy have a place in relationships?
Okay. Ooh, okay. Interesting. So, is it okay to be jealous?
Let's define it first.
Oh, I thought we were supposed to tell our standpoint first and then we define it.
Well, yeah, I would give our definition.
Oh, our definition.
Yeah.
Or answer.
Yeah.
So,
ladies
is
first.
it okay to be jealous? I don't know necessarily if it's okay to be jealous, but I definitely think that it's something that naturally occurs. I think that some people have a handle on it. I don't think that there are a lot of people who have a handle on it. And then it says, what was it, the second part of the question?
Does jealousy have a place in relationships?
Does jealousy have a place in relationships? It definitely has a place, but I don't believe that it's a good place. I believe that if there was a connotation that was added to jealousy, it would be negative to me. Mm-hmm. That is my opinion. What about you?
I do believe it's okay to be jealous, and I believe it has a place in relationships. Mm-hmm. Like you just said, it does have a negative connotation to it, and it should. But I do feel like there are two different types of jealousy.
Okay, explain to me what you...
Oh, no, not yet.
What?
You gonna go first.
Or what jealousy is?
Yeah, let's define what we believe jealousy is, and then we gonna give the...
Okay, so jealousy to me...
dictionary, yeah.
Jealousy to me definitely has to do with basically ranking or comparison. Jealousy, as I understand it, involves three. And by three, I mean the only way I can be jealous is if somebody else is involved. So it's almost like a comparative relationship or relational comparison. So, for example, you become close to my sister. Mm-hmm. I can be jealous of the relationship that you hold with my sister. Mm-hmm. I can be jealous of you holding a relationship with somebody else. Like, I can be jealous of those things, but that to me is jealousy. I hope that was clear.
It makes sense. I agree.
You agree? Okay.
Yeah, so I believe just in that, because I think people mix up like jealousy and envy. Mm-hmm. And so for me to simplify it is basically what you said, but jealousy is you have something that I want. Mm-hmm. And just that simple. Mm-hmm. I want to covet whatever it is you have, whether it's your social status, your partner, your money, whatever. You have something that I don't have, and I want it, and I feel a certain way about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I want it. Mm-hmm. Envy would be, I want to be you.
Right. It involves two.
Yeah, like it's not that I'm jealous that you have this. Mm-hmm. It's I don't want you to have it, and I want to have it.
Yeah,
like I want you gone, disappear, and that should be me right there.
It's going to be me, right?
Yeah.
I want the crown.
Yeah.
So I got to take you out in order to have the crown.
Yeah. But jealousy is just you have it and I don't have it, and I want it also. Like that. We both can have it. Right. But I feel a certain way about it because I don't have it.
Right.
Yeah, so
makes all the sense.
You ain't got to die or disappear. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So what is
I just need to have it. Yeah.
What is the definition?
Let's look on the dictionary app.
All right.
Jealousy. Don't you love it when they use the word in the root word in the definition? Here we go again. A jealous attitude or disposition. So let's just jealous. Fear. Ads pop up.
The cost of freedom.
Yep. Fearful or wary of losing one's position or situation to someone else, especially in a sexual relationship.
Oh.
I don't like that one.
Me either. That's
Envious or resentful of the good fortune or achievement of another. All right. Having to do with or arising from feelings of apprehension, bitterness, or envy. All right. I could deal with that. Mm-hmm.
I think the first two, they just kind of like named a thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's giving. I don't really like this app. But we can roll with that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, having to do with
one that you said you could deal with.
Having to do with or arising from feelings of apprehension, bitterness, or envy. And it gives it like a little examples. It's jealous thoughts. Mm-hmm. Just to help you understand what it's saying.
Yeah.
So basically, like I said, it's that feeling that you see somebody else has something, but you want it.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever been jealous?
I don't know if I've been jealous to the point, because I feel like that breeds toxicity. Mm-hmm. So even back then, I've never looked at somebody and was like, I felt a certain way because I didn't have what they had. Mm-hmm. I can't say I've done that, but I have looked at somebody like, damn, I want that. Mm-hmm. But whatever I want, I just go after and get. I never was mad because they had it and I didn't. Mm-hmm. Nah, it's not really my thing.
Okay. I definitely have been jealous.
Tell me about it.
What's really funny is that I don't believe that I've ever been jealous necessarily of, like, in a relationship with somebody, if that makes sense. Like, I've never been, like, jealous of, like, another woman or another relationship that, like, my partner has fostered. Mine definitely was, like, you know, when I was in school, like school age, you know what I mean, wanting certain shoes and things like that. Like, yeah. Even one time there, I had a phase when I was jealous of people who had braces.
You wanted braces?
I wanted them so bad. I was like, those are so cool. And I also wanted glasses.
It's so
and
cool.
Like,
I never knew why people like wanted braces.
Yes, because it's like, that's weird, because it's a corrective thing. Like, why the hell would you want braces? But I did. Yeah, like, that was just
that's funny.
You create these sort of pathways in your mind of what's cool, and when somebody has it, like, there was this guy named Tori who I went to. Shout out to Tori, who I went to school with, and he used to, not Lanes, poor guy. Who I went to school with, who always, like, he was like fresh, like his mom kept him. He's just one of those kids, like fresh haircut, earring in his ear, all the Jordans, all the like I used to be like, man.
That's why you wear all Jordans now? I
don't wear all Jordans now. I get a lot of Jordans.
Not all Jordans, but all the Jordans.
I have a very long list of shoes that I have that are Jordans, but But yeah, like a part of that did come from there. Just being able to get what I want, in other words. Like, it just seemed like he got that early. I don't know what type of person he grew up to be, right? But at that time, what was important was that I'm looking at him and he got all these Jordans.
And you didn't?
No. I had to.
How did you feel about him?
I liked him. I think I like, you know how you call somebody your boyfriend for a little while. I think we had a thing. It was very weird. We were young. Yeah. It lasted maybe a couple of days, if that. you know how you do.
No, I was just asking to see, if it was some envy in it, but y'all.
Right. I never wanted to replace him. I never wanted to be him. I don't. Now, envy. Have you ever been envious of somebody?
Nah.
Yeah, that's something that I can say. Like, it's never given that. Yeah.
So nobody's ever had something that I was mad that I didn't have it and they had it, and nobody's ever been in a position that I wanted to covet. Like, I want to be where you are. Now, I have, this is not jealousy or envy, but I have looked at people and was like, dang, and almost like idolized them. Like, dang, that's what I would like to be. That's what I would, like, I would look at actors. Like, everybody's favorite actor, Denzel Washington. So you'll see things like, dang, I don't care about Emmys or Grammys or none of that. Whatever there is, I don't even care about the influence. Oh, it's just when I see the talent. Even guitar players, like I have, for people that are, I just feel like this for people that are that excel in their craft. And it's not because they're just so great at what they do. It's just I see that they're passionate about it. I see that they're really putting things into it, and I feel like for myself, I've never done that with a specific thing. I never worked with one specific thing to make myself great at it. So I see Denzel, I'll look at him while he's acting. And I'll look at even the small things, I'm like, dang, that's tight. And even sometimes I might even emulate it. Yeah. Just to see if I could do it. Yeah. When I look at, I love the guitars and the drums. I look at artists while they're playing, musicians while they're playing and everything. And I'm like, man, like my man, he one of the biggest drummers out here right now. And I'm like, how do you? And he a big dude. I'm like, how you play the drums like that? You must have been playing since you was like 5. And I see kids like, and it's not jealousy, but I'm just like, dang, I wish I could do that. I wish I had put in that work when I was younger.
So when does it become jealousy?
For me, I don't think nothing after that moment. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not something where I'm going to dwell on it like, oh man, I suck. I can't play the drums. Mm-hmm. Oh man, suck. My life
But does
sucks.
That make it jealousy, or is jealousy just that thought of I wish I could?
No, I think because like you said, there's a negative connotation to it. I think jealousy is something it'll breed toxicity. So mm-hmm. it'll take up some real estate in your mind. It'll have you feeling some sort of way, a negative way. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't make me feel a negative way when I see these things. It more so encourages me. I just like to see people being great too.
Yeah.
Like when I see people at the pinnacle of doing what they do, mm-hmm. you're just like, dang, that's dope. It more so encourages me. Like I wish that I had that, but it's not something that's going to take me down a negative path. It's not something that's going to make me like, man, I'm better than that nigga. Right. It's not giving, it's not giving that. So
would you argue that like jealousy is when you like move in or act in whatever actions come from or manifest themselves from that that particular emotion? Yeah.
Even if you don't, it might not manifest in action, but it'll manifest something in you,
inside of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some people might quit. They might feel it. You might look at Will Smith like, look at him, got a big house, all these movies, making all this money. That should be me, man. I'm better than him. Mm-hmm. Like I could act better. Like I look at some football players, some basketball players, like, man, these dudes suck.
Right.
But we do this just joking. But me and my man was like, man, if we was like 5'11", we'd have made it to the league. Mm-hmm. If I was 5'10", 5'11", I'd have made it to the league. Mm-hmm. I know I'm better than Slim. Mm-hmm. It's not jealousy.
You're
it's
faster.
Like, for us, it's like, I don't know about faster, just better. Mm-hmm. But for us, it's just like playful joking around with a little bit of seriousness. But we not jealous of those guys. We still like to see them play. We watch them. We support them if it's our team. Going about our business the next day. Mm-hmm. Ain't none of that. I just sent my man this picture because this dude, he's a running back for the Cowboys, I believe. And the dude is like 5'6", 175 pounds, 180 pounds or something. Mm-hmm. And I sent it to my man. He was like, I know, that should have been me. He's like, I could have played. Because you don't see too many athletes but my man was dedicated to it. And, it's more so encouraging for us than anything, especially since he played for our team.
Right.
But that it reminds us like, dang, we could have did that.
Yeah.
Not me, I ain't 5'6".
If it was for you.
Yeah.
Right. So I believe that it does have to do with the action behind it, where you can call it jealousy. Yeah. Because my thing is, I believe that jealousy is an emotion, mm-hmm. right? So it's one of the many emotions that we experience throughout the day, right? But I think that the only reason why we know of it to be whatever it is if you do have an outward experience with it. So if I act on it, and it doesn't have to be like punch you in the face, want your jewelry. Like, no, it doesn't have to be that. It could be you saying like, man, I wish I had that. Face,
want your jewelry. Yeah, that's what I'm about. So yeah, verbalizing it. Yeah, if you count that verbalizing as action,
acting differently, like with your partner. Say like if you're in a relationship, like I don't. You and your sister, y'all real chummy, huh? You know what I mean? It's like...
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
I agree. I see, I agree.
And, some people are jealous of their children.
Explain.
So, I can't say that this is necessarily a wrong or right thing. Of course, if, like we talked about, the connotation of jealousy being negative because of the fact that like there are toxic behaviors that stem from it, like when people act in their emotions, when people are emotional actors, right? But there are people who are jealous of their children because, and this is just me placing, genders on it, right?
Go ahead.
There are a lot of women who place their children above their husbands. Which can be, that's been the age-old debate, right? There are so many people, especially on social media, who believe that, whenever it comes down to something, matter of fact, I was just talking, my cousin, she said that when she gets married, her husband comes before her kids, and she said that to her mom, and she said that to one of her friends, and they both laughed her out and said, okay, girl, like, because she doesn't have either.
Yeah.
And so they're like, so one of her friends said, okay, so if your baby is crying, you gonna go and like soothe your man? And she was like, that's stupid because like if my baby is crying, like it's apples to oranges. This doesn't make any sense. I was just thinking
those exact words. Apples to oranges. I wouldn't.
Yeah, like that doesn't make any. But it
I'm
goes
done
to
engaging
show
in conversation with people like that because I don't have the energy for it no more.
It's not even that. It's just sometimes people really don't be thinking about what they talking about.
And I'm not about to think for you. I'm like, all right, whatever, you got it. You right.
Yeah. And me, I'll definitely like just ask him a question like, well, why would you think that I would go and soothe my husband if my baby is crying? Like, because obviously, if my baby is crying,
your husband comes before your baby.
Exactly. Like, that just doesn't make sense.
Just telling me they don't get it.
They don't.
Their brain can't compute. So why am I go back and forth with it?
But it's funny that you said that about like how you don't have that sort of energy. And I literally said something very similar to her where I was like, well, then that's what I would have ended the conversation because we're obviously not talking about the same thing.
Right.
Yeah. But if we like to further it, but no, that's not.
Don't like. Raising
up. You're almost there, babe.
Yeah, it's raising
up.
But
no, what I actually said was, it wasn't that I said that I would cut the conversation off. What I said was, that's why you have to take what other people tell you about your relationship with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Because what works for your relationship may not work for their relationship, and it may not be working for their relationship, but.
Now I can see myself being jealous in that instance.
I can see myself being jealous in that instance.
My wife with my sons.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely could see myself being jealous in that instant.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna dump her. Like I ain't gonna divorce her.
No,
like, make her pay for it.
Yeah.
But you about to hear my mouth.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know you got a husband here, right?
Yes. There's plenty of husbands who actually have said that.
They're my kids too. I made them.
Mm-hmm.
I can make more of them.
My mom said that about my dad. Yeah. She was like, he definitely was jealous of y'all. And I'm just thinking, but see, here's the thing though, too. You also have to see the context of the relationship too. So sometimes people are having different conversations about the same topic.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So with my dad, he was not often home. Mm-hmm. So my mom spent a lot of time with us.
Yeah.
But instead of her saying, let me get a babysitter so we can go out where you want to go,
yeah,
it was giving, you're never here, you never do anything with us. Mm-hmm. So then we became like that was the center. And it's not to say, shame on you, Mom. No, it was just what it was, right? But in that instance, I can see how it's all lost in translation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can see his view. I mean, I don't know his stance. But just listening to you, I could, if it was AJ, I could understand it. Because I'm like, all right, yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. So you're with them all this time. So when can I get my time?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like you.
Especially in understanding what you've said in previous episodes about the way in which men see family,
mm-hmm.
right? So we are the nurturers. We're the ones who carry the babies and so forth and so on, right? We sit with these babies for long periods of time. We're connected to them. You guys are connected to us.
I mean, we're connected to the kids also, but it's just through y'all.
Right. I wasn't saying... I didn't get to finish, but obviously I wasn't saying that men are not connected to their children. But I've heard before how men will say, like, we can have another baby. Like so when you have to make the choice between your wife or your child who's, if your wife is hemorrhaging, and this is just me giving a, super wild example, but it's happened, right? It actually happened in our family. Your wife is having a baby. Your wife is hemorrhaging. It's the baby or the wife. The husband is going to choose the wife.
I'm choosing the wife.
Yeah. Because usually the narrative is we can have more babies.
Yeah. But I've seen scenarios like in real life where that has, I don't know them personally, mm-hmm. but I've seen the scenarios where
they chosen the baby.
I don't think they chose the baby. I think it happened that way, and they chose not to feel a certain way about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And man, that's crazy because that's making me think about this dude named Francis Chan. He a pastor in California.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know where he's at now. He was a pastor in California, but his mother died at childbirth.
Mm-hmm.
And his father did feel a way about it.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up getting remarried and everything, but then she died young also. And I believe I remember him sharing, he was saying something about, his father, don't want to say it was kind of resentment,
mm-hmm.
but he felt like he didn't give his all to him because there was a way he felt about his wife dying while she was giving birth to his child.
Wow.
It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we look at it like this. I know women probably don't look at it like this. We look at it like this. I chose you to be my wife so we could go on to eternity to death do us part. Mm-hmm. We gonna have these kids. It's our responsibility to raise them, to love them, make sure they productive citizens, and all that good stuff. Right? At some point in time, they're gonna leave. Mm-hmm. You know, so I'm not gonna be 1,000% invested. Like this is gonna be my life. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do to help these children grow up and be healthy, productive citizens and be productive to their community and everything. Go out, be able to be independent, survive on their own. And after that, I want to get back to my life with my wife. It's not even that I want to get back to my life with my wife. It's I want to be able to continue and flourish my life with my wife. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I see this a lot, especially regarding what you just said, where women say, my children come first. Like, I just believe when women have children, I mean, y'all go through more with them, given that y'all carried them, that you're just all in right here, like, this is your life. And you see so many marriages and relationships that when the kids are grown and gone,
you don't know what to do.
Things fall apart.
I don't even know this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So we're not looking at it like that. That's not... We don't go all in with it. I ain't gonna say we don't go all in, but we're not there to that level that y'all are with the kids. We do love them. We gonna protect them. We gonna do all we can for them. And like, it's not. I'm not saying, you know, if the wife is in danger, the children in danger, we just not gonna save the children.
No, absolutely not.
That's not what I'm saying.
No.
And if that, you know, if you're trying to make that argument, then, like you said, we're not talking about the same thing.
Different thing.
I don't even want
and I think that's what
Yeah.
happens. Like there's for some reason in life, it's almost like you have to have black or you have to have white. And I just still feel like there is like this large area of gray that people don't like to address. Yeah. And for the sake of making a point, they don't like to do it. Or for the sake of social media arguing, they don't like to look at the fact that, like, it really doesn't have to be that finite. It's possible for you to love on your kids and your husband at the same time. Like,
it is.
It's possible for you also to prioritize your husband without losing your relationship with your children.
And it's almost necessary. I've seen this also. Where I've seen the lady talk about it. She don't know that this is what she's saying, but this is what I got from her. It's also, but you may have to, how you win your wife over, like how you effectively love your wife is by how you're taking care of her kids. I mean, they're your kids too, but you know that this is her major concern. Like, you know, she can't sleep well at night knowing that her child has this problem or something. Her seeing you take care of this issue with these kids, protecting these kids and everything, treating them on the same level that she does, at least in her eyes, will allow her to... That's another thing I would say about feeling safe. That will allow her to feel safe and comfortable with you to where y'all can still be intimate. That's just something to consider. I'm not in the situation. I'm not qualified to talk about it, but just consider it.
But that makes a lot of sense. Like, even just like being a woman, like, to me, obviously I'm not a mom, but to me, like, because like having been around a lot of moms, to me, it seems like that's a thing. Like, if their children are in danger, they cannot be right.
Right.
You know? So if there's a lack of concern for these babies, like, obviously I'm going to pull up, right? And I'm going to do what I can. Yeah. But if you're protecting the entire home, there is a different level of safety. There's a different level. And we're mental.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's where our headspace is where we are. And so if our headspace is clear, then everything else can be unlocked. So.
Oh, well, while we're here, let's talk about this. It's probably a little bit off, but let's talk about it.
Sure.
Since we are already talking about moms and children, this is why I choose not to, because I've already been in a few relationships with women with children. But this is why I choose not to. I want my first child to be my wife's first child, and that's that. And I've been in situations, I've never been jealous of the kid, but they do get in the way.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm not the person that's going to make you choose. I'm not going to say, and how would I be if I like, dang, you can't take your kid to your mother house or something? Like, you can't ask somebody what? That's not ever going to come out of my mouth. I feel like, I might feel like it, but I feel like it's insensitive. I feel like I don't know any women that's not going to take that personal. But like they won't understand where I'm coming from with it. So I'm not even going to verbalize. I'm not going to put that out because they're going to be, if you can't accept my child, you can't accept my son, my daughter. Then And the thing is, many of us, if we're going to get into a relationship, we're going to pursue somebody and we know they had children, then we already accepted that. Mm-hmm. But when you come at us and you say something like that, it's going to, you know what? You're right. Mm-hmm. I hope you okay. Hope you live a good life with your kids. I'm going to go ahead and stay over here. Mm-hmm. And it'll look like it's because I didn't want to have anything to do with them kids, but it's because the way you just came out your mouth, you don't even understand what you just said to me. Mm-hmm. I'm dating you. Like, I'm courting you. I'm already here with you. That means I already made that decision. Mm-hmm. But for you to come out your mouth, like, I know it's you being defensive and everything, but that's just showing me you're not where I need you to be for this relationship to succeed either. Mm-hmm. And I'm really, the point in my life where I'm at, I don't feel like trying to develop that. Like, I'm not trying to coach you through this. I'm not trying to develop you. And especially if you're my age, I feel like your kids are just going to have to grow up until you're ready to date again, because it's not many men that's going to deal with that. Mm-hmm. It's like telling a man, I don't need you. It gives that same feeling to us. Like, I know you don't need me, but I don't need you to sit here, yell it in my face, scream it in my face, for you to question whether I'm going to be here for these youngins, and I know that they're your youngins. Mm-hmm. I know that you care for them, for you to question that, and I'm here. Mm-hmm. Or say, or threaten me like, if you can't be for my kids, if you're going to make me choose this and that, like, all right, well, let me just go ahead and go about my business.
Mm-hmm. I think that there are men who are made for that, though, but I just don't think that you're him, right?
Oh, most definitely.
And that's the same thing for me. Like, I feel like I've definitely dated guys who had children, and that's something that I did not, like, it was a hard stop for me before that, right? And I just was like, well, let me, there's always somebody who want to give you advice to tell you what you should open up to do. And I did it, and I was like, no, it's not giving that, right? So the reason why I say that is, and it's funny that we're coming from two different perspectives, because where in your case, usually the woman has her children all the time, right? Yeah. Whereas with my side of things, the men usually don't have their children. Mm-hmm. But the red flags come in for me when they're not even really discussed. Yeah. And I never see them. Attempts. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things like, well, who got your kids? Like, you got 4 of them, and I never see you with one of them ever. Like, you have plenty of time to date me. And I said that the kind of father that I would want to date would be the one who is actively involved in their children's lives. Mm-hmm. But see, I've been in a relationship with somebody who was that way too, and it gave, you want me, but you don't want my kids. And that wasn't the case. What happened with that, what was lost in translation, was the fact that there really was no let's all do something together type situation, right? Yeah. Let's get you comfortable with them first, and then you can go and, do something else. His thing was, I introduced you to my girl, so now you can go ahead and do whatever you want to do. That means coordinate things where all of us get together. And I'm just like, but I don't even have any kids. Yeah, like you're now like letting go of your leadership because as a leader, right, as their father, to me, and this is just my opinion, you would be the one to initiate those things until they got to the point where they felt safe. Mm-hmm. Because safety is a huge thing, enough to want to hang out with me. But don't put me in the fire and just be like, you figure it out. Now, there are some women, again, just like I said, who are built for that. Yeah. I'm not her. Because, again, I've never had kids. I also didn't have a babysitting job growing up. I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that lends to me, because there are some people who, they come into a room, they might not know any of the children in there, but the children are following them out and they love them. Yeah. I love people who have that spirit. I think that I do have a level of nurture about me, but I'm not that person who's going to be like, can I take all 8 of them to the playground? No, my mother is that though. You know what I mean? And I have friends who are that. Like, I'm going to take all the kids to go get ice cream tomorrow.
Yeah, that's dope.
I think it's dope.
Yeah, I think it's more women like that than men when it comes to, blending the family and everything.
I think that the place for women who have children, in my opinion, is usually with men who also have children. Yeah. But that's not everybody, though. So there are some women who need a man who doesn't have any kids because they need that focus. You know what I mean? Like, they need somebody who could just...
That's tough. So you talking about a woman that doesn't... also a woman that doesn't have kids?
No, she has children.
Yeah, that's tough right there.
But not for all men.
I mean, it's not. It's not for all men, but I also don't think it's a lot of men. Because if so I'm gonna tell you what I heard.
Okay.
It's not what you said. I'm gonna tell you what I heard.
Okay.
I have kids, but I don't want him to have kids.
I know women that are like that.
Yeah, and
I know a man who said that to me. He has 3 kids now. And he said that if things don't work out with the woman he is currently with, who he has the 3 kids by, he would not want to be with a woman who had children. He said because it's too much already. I have 3. I don't want to take on any more kids.
Oh, well, that's fair.
Yeah. So that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. I know my ex. She has children. She said she don't want any more. Like she don't want any more kids, and I believe she said this. She doesn't even want him to have any youngins, any more young ones. I mean,
she's done with that part, like high school and
yeah. She would rather go out and going out the door, just us.
Yeah.
Like I can't wait till these 2 little ones
get on up out of here.
Yeah, like I don't want you to have none either.
Someone for everyone though.
Huh?
Someone for everyone. That's why I feel like it's so important for us all to lead the lives that we do and, have the mistakes that we do and the parents that we do. Like God makes no mistakes, and hallelujah for that.
You'd be surprised how many people tell me, yeah, you're going to be single forever. At your age, you looking for somebody that don't have kids, good luck. You don't know.
Oh God, yes, all the time. Me too. But you're also a person. So if we're talking about peer groups, you're one of the guys who does not have children.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Who is in my age group, and that's what they say. Like, no, nobody your age is gonna not have kids at this point.
But see, it's more of us than it is y'all
that don't have kids. Well, yeah, remember we talked about that on the podcast too, and I said it's just because you can't prove it.
Yeah, that's like an attack, but.
I mean, it's not an attack. It's just that you can't prove. Like, you can go your whole life without knowing that you had a kid until you die.
Yeah, you could.
Like, I'm literally I wonder if my uncle has any kids. I'll just wait until he dies.
I just don't believe that that's the majority of the situation. I don't believe, like, there's a freaking huge plethora of men out here that have children that they don't know about.
Well, we don't know what I don't know what the numbers are. I don't know if they're like if they're like 2% to a whopping 92. You know what I mean? But if it's like 94 and 90, you know what I mean? 96 is like, all right, yeah. There a few of them don't know what their babies are.
Because I don't want to believe that.
I don't want to believe that
majority of men out here are deadbeats. That's a bad narrative.
No.
And I don't
oh my gosh, that's what that gave?
Not dead. So if you reckless out here, that's deadbeat to me.
No. AJ, there are some men who are ill aware of the fact that they have a child because a woman never told them.
Right. Now,
there are some women who are raising children for a man who is not their father, and they think that they are, and they don't find out until they go on.
So this is what I'm saying.
Ancestry.
How did you have that child?
What you mean?
So unless 100% of them are like, we were strapped up and there was just a condom malfunction, yeah. But it's not the case with probably 90% of them. Mm-hmm. So you was out here participating in an act that can produce kids. Mm-hmm. You're guilty of that. Mm-hmm. Now, if your pull-out game stronger than that.
But
not if what could come from that.
But not if she's had sex with several men in 1 month. Like, I know that too.
But
like I know those
that
instances. Though. You don't know that, so you can't be accountable. You can't be held accountable
to
know like which one of your sperm. Right, but what if she doesn't know?
Then we could test.
I know. Right. Well, you have to. So that would be. So it's not to like. I'm not trying to put bad.
I'll do it.
Yeah. So that makes sense for you, right? Like that's not your situation, but I do know that there are men out here who they had some wild times. They were some wild turkeys, and so at some point, they were shooting the club up around the way.
So you might not be a deadbeat father, but I'm gonna just call you a deadbeat man. I'm gonna attack. You don't have to, and I don't want you to because you're a woman, and it's not. It'll pit women against men. It'll be perpetuating that. But I can challenge him. I can say it. I'm a man. That's some deadbeat man stuff if you out here reckless like that.
And you don't know what you're producing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when a girl told me
seeds.
that she was pregnant, I said, is it mine? Because it could have been that situation. She told me no.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, well, then why would you ask me? Why would you tell me that? But she told me no because she said the timer was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, she ends up having a child. Child's about a little over a year old. Now she's asking me, for baby pictures. And I'm like, so you think he's mine?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I don't know, maybe it's a possibility.
Mm.
And so what I'm saying is deadbeat man stuff is the other guy that she knew she was like 90% chance it's his, but she rather it had been my son because she knew I was going to do what was necessary for the child than it to be his. Because when she said something to him once about the possibility, he went on her. Mm. That's deadbeat man stuff to me.
Got it.
Apart from a father's deadbeat man stuff, for you to not even want to find out, say, I don't want to have nothing to do with that child. For you to not even want to find out that if this is your seed, like you got something out here.
Gotcha.
And then don't want to do anything about it. First thing I did was, all right, the day she told me, I went to go see them and I said, I'm going to take a test. I told her to her face, I'm going to take a test. If it's mine, then he's going to come live with me. Mm-hmm. That's mine. So I knew that I was with her in a capacity where this could have happened.
Right.
And so
it's not a question about.
It's not a It's not. I don't care about how many men you've been with. That's not my concern.
I'm just make sure that we check it off the list for men.
Yeah.
Right. That's fair. I think.
And that's what I'm saying. So that's deadbeat man stuff to me. Whether you don't know your father, so I can't say you're deadbeat father. It's just deadbeat man stuff. Mm-hmm. It's not being responsible. You was irresponsible in the beginning, and you continue to perpetuate that irresponsibility.
Yes.
Like now that you know that this is a possibility,
and you know that you're not gonna do nothing about it. Yeah.
You don't even want to find out.
Yeah, that's fair. And I understand that wholeheartedly now. I do feel the same way. Yeah. Like if you know you was out here shooting the club up and it's possibility that's your baby, you're just not gonna be like, oh sorry, It could be, but I'm not going to test.
You see her on Facebook a year later. You see her on Facebook 5 years later. She got a 4-year-old child, 3.5-year-old child. And you wonder, is that mine?
But you don't say anything. Do nothing. Yeah. It's very, what is it called? Avoidant.
Yeah, pussy. It's called.
Right. I used the politically correct term. But yeah, so that was a good question though.
I'm sorry. Back to jealousy, unless you wanted to.
No, we can. I really don't have anything more to contribute to that conversation. Right. Or do you have any more to add to jealousy?
That could go on. Oh, jealousy.
Oh, does it have a point? No. I'm saying, I'm talking about jealousy again. Sorry, I should have been more clear. I do have a point to add though, because we were talking about, does jealousy have a place? Like that was the second part of the conversation. Does jealousy ever have a place in relationships?
Yes.
And I guess we answered that when we talk about children, but let's talk about people who don't have children.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's about how the jealousy exists. Mm-hmm. So of course, if it breeds negative reactions or negative feelings towards your partner, of course I don't think it can. I don't think that's healthy for relationships.
Right, I agree.
My version. Well, you go ahead because my version of jealousy is going to be. It's going to take us down another road.
Okay. I was just going to say that it does have a place only because I don't really think that. I think that it does have a negative connotation, right? Jealousy is jealousy, right? But jealousy is also an emotion, and emotion is fleeting, and you also don't build houses on emotion, right? Mm-hmm. Emotions are just that. They're not fact.
Right.
So obviously jealousy is just like happy. It's just like sad. It's just like, anger, whatever. So it can be something that can be rolled on. I think that people have several different reasons as to why they would be jealous. Mm. Sometimes it's time. I'm not getting enough time from you. I'm jealous of the fact that you spend more time at your job than you do at home. Mm-hmm. I'm jealous of the fact that you're like with my dad, he was always out. My mom felt a level of jealousy, I'm sure. And, I'm speaking for her at this point. But if we were just talking about, Ann and Carlton, I'm jealous that Carlton is constantly out buying up the bar and I'm in here with these children that we made together.
Right. Carlton.
Yeah.
I don't know how you came up with that name, but okay.
I just liked it.
That's cool.
I just like thinking of random names. But, Yeah, so that's another reason to be jealous. The church. I know some people who don't know how to balance, their ministry with their family lives. So they have resentment or jealousy that happens with their children, even because it's like daddy's not home or mommy's not home because she's always at the church. So things like that, right? Like just being able to manage, and sometimes you do be doing the best that you can and people still be jealous, but that's neither here nor there. What I'm saying is jealousy does have a place in a relationship.
You said it does?
Yes, it does.
All right. And so I'm glad you went there because that's exactly what I believe. Okay. So I know you have people that I would hope they not in a relationship with each other, but might be jealous that you make more money than me.
Yes.
That's not, I was going to speak on exactly what you just said. And I feel like all of those are necessary situations for jealousy to exist. Because, and I don't even care about if it breed a negative response or anything, because I can't be responsible for, how you deal with your fits of anger or your happiness or your jealousy. So, because all it is, for one, what it is for me, for the other person, like if you was jealous of me spending more time at work or giving my energy to work, giving my energy to somebody else, whatever, then how you respond to it is just an indication for me that something's wrong.
Yes.
And so instead of just
it to the forefront.
Yeah. Like the check engine light just came on. Yes. I need to make sure my sensors are good. I need to make sure my gas cap. It means I need to address something.
Yes.
I don't need to address the light. I don't need to address your reaction to it. I need to find out what is the source of it.
Yes.
So if you're jealous of something, I believe that it very well is necessary. And the reason I do believe that is because even the scripture says God is a jealous God. The first commandment was have no other gods before me. He told them, like, don't go to these other nations, these heathen nations, and serve their gods. He's like, don't go do the things that they do. And you doing these rituals, giving honor, praying to these other gods. No.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to husband and wife, you spending more time at work. It's like you giving your energy, more time, more energy, all that. You giving more of yourself to your job than you are your wife or your husband. It's almost the same as cheating on your wife or your husband. That is your number one.
Yep.
Y'all are for you to deny your spouse those things. It's the same thing as denying yourself.
Yes.
Because y'all are supposed to be one.
Absolutely.
So I do believe that the jealousy is necessary, and I don't believe it is a bad thing. Like, I don't believe it is a negative thing. What's negative is just your response to it, like how you respond out of your jealousy.
Well, I think, and I think that's what we addressed is like that it has a negative connotation. But so does anger, like you said.
Yeah. Even being happy, like being overjoyed. Like, I did some stupid stuff. Could be deemed as negative, just being hype.
Facts. But that was good. I really like that. And the fact that we are made in God's image, and so obviously we would possess jealousy too if he's a jealous
Some of us are made in God's image.
So obviously we would put what?
Never, go ahead.
We would possess that as well, but just like I think it's all about the way in which you go about, expressing that emotion.
But I would just encourage people to not put so much emphasis on the expression. So it like how you're expressing it. I mean, we could come back and revisit it. Like, man, look, I don't like how you
talk to me.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Right. And you can explain.
But it's like clearly something wrong.
Right.
Like, don't miss that. Yeah. I had that conversation today. Because I had a real expressive moment with one of my friends, just letting her know how I felt about something that had happened between us. Like, I felt it. So I was just giving that. I was using I feel, you know what I mean? Like, very ownership heavy, statements. And she took it personally to think that I was making her sound like somebody who's just like this cringy, abusive person. And I said, no, take yourself out of the equation.
Sometimes you got to give them that though. But if that's how you feel, analyze, maybe you are. Like, don't, because you will do that. Like you're so you're compassionate, you're nice, where you know how to deliver your message about how you feel while trying to diffuse them so they don't really get defensive and they don't become on attack mode and everything. But sometimes we have to draw the line right here. So if what I said makes you feel that you're aggressive, riled, this and that, well, go look at yourself. Look at the situation, analyze yourself, and you judge for yourself. If somebody would have been like that towards you, how would you have felt?
So in doing it the way that I do it, I notice that when it's not true of them, it won't hit the same. Yeah. So when it's you, hit you like a Mack truck.
Hit dog holler.
Hit dog holler. So at the end of the day, I usually use those statements because I don't want people to say, this is what I'm, you basically like you're coming at me wrong, because it really is about the way in which you say a thing more than it is what you say. So when I say something, I'm trying to like check my tone and all this other stuff because I don't want the message to get lost. Yeah. It's not because I'm trying not to hurt your feelings, because I can be downright nasty. Like I can be. Like it's not like I don't want to paint this picture that I'm some like angel. But at the end of the day, what I said to her was, I don't want you to miss the message. This is what I don't like. Yeah. This is what I'm not okay with happening.
Was she able to receive it?
Yes. Once she took herself out of the equation.
You are such a good person.
No, I'm not.
You are, because I don't have that type of time. I don't have that type of energy.
I feel like we are a woman and man. Yeah. Yeah. And that's just that. Like, there's really no, like, I have more words, like, you know what I mean?
But a lot of women don't operate like that, though.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Like, I see a lot of women like, well, if that's how you feel, then that's how you feel.
And shut down.
And that's probably exactly why the topic that we had to skip, because we didn't have our guests, exists. I feel like women throw relationships away more than we do. So like I leaned on my men before, hard, like real hard, to the point like, damn, y'all friends, but we still cool. Yeah.
Oh, I can agree with you.
Yeah, we argue to the point where you think we ain't gonna still each other in the face, but you might think that's gonna happen. But sometimes I feel like it's necessary, and sometimes people really will, because I don't know if you ever had this situation. This happens a lot with men. I don't know if women have this situation where somebody might seem a little disrespectful, throwing you some shade or something, and when you check that thing, you're like, all right, I had enough of this. You check that thing, it's like it subsides forever, and then y'all are able to move on and even be cool. So with men, sometimes, especially in my line of work, got dudes is always talking trash, always popping slick, being smart. Sometimes you pay no attention. Catch you in a bad mood, you be like, man, what you want to do, young? When the conversation, once it's addressed, once it becomes a thing, it's, oh nah. And then after that, you don't have problems anymore. Yeah. Like, yeah. That happens often with men when you ain't. Oh nah. Nah, it ain't even like that, man. I'm just messing with you, or nah, man, we ain't no problems. Cool. When they find out that you're not the type of person that's going to allow you to get ran over. And so if I never had to, you run into this issue way more than me, but you have more relationships than I have also. So I never had to be like, look, it only happens with women in my life. This is how this is making me feel, or this is what I feel is not working. And it feels more like I'm attacking their character, or I'm attacking their person when I'm not. What I'm saying is, this isn't working for me. Right. And if you do feel it's an attack on you, then I can't say that your feelings are like illegit. I can't say that, you feel like that. But now what are you going to do about it? Because I can't take back what I feel. If I'm telling you that this is not working for me, I can't take that back. I can't say, you know what, maybe it can work for me. To me, that doesn't make sense. So when I'm going to try to neglect my feelings and change how I receive things from you so that you could stay in that toxic state that's not working for our relationship, that doesn't make sense to me.
None at all.
So either this ain't going to work, or you're going to consider your fault in this thing and attempt to change also, so that we can make this work.
Yeah.
And it should be reciprocal. You could be able to come to me and express yourself to me. Hey, AJ, this ain't working for me. Like, I'm not comfortable with this. Boom. All right, whatever. So that'll change too. If I'm willing to engage in this relationship, like we say, make it work, right? We believe relationships are what matters most to God. It's what we're here for. Then we make it work. So I'm going to have to compromise. I'm going to have to sacrifice. I'm going to have to realize, all right, I'm wrong, or I value this relationship, and this is what's hurting this relationship. Let me not deal how I was dealing. If she don't like how I talk to her like that, let me work on myself so I don't respond to her like that. Let me find out what it is in me that made me respond to her like that, so that I could better deal with this thing.
Yes, intentionality.
Yeah, that word.
Yeah. So that was good. I like what you just said. I don't have anything else to add for that. That was really good cap off.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what I heard you say, or what I am taking from this particular episode, is that jealousy involves 3, envy involves 2. That jealousy has a place in relationship, that the way in which we act on the emotion of jealousy can be the problematic thing. But jealousy is something that can naturally occur.
And how the response to that thing.
Right.
So that's because I want to put responsibility on both parties. So if you just, I can't take this no more, whatever. If you went off on me for some reason because you're jealous that I'm friends with this other person and everything, or you're jealous that I'm spending too much time doing this, yeah, you reacted that way, but I have a responsibility to find out why you're reacting that way also. And we need to do a better job identifying that thing. So if you're telling me, because we're not identifying that as jealousy. So if somebody says, you're always at work, you're never at home, you don't have time for us, this and that, they're giving that, what's my man's name, if you think you're lonely now?
Bobby Womack.
Bobby Womack.
Yeah, Bobby Womack.
They giving that, hey, when I'm home, I ain't got no money.
Yeah.
But you always complaining that I'm at work. They're giving that instead of giving, oh, she's jealous. She's yearning for my time. She's jealous of my job. Let me, identify that and be better equipped to deal with it, to adjust to it.
Yep.
Instead of, you always complain about me never being at home. Yeah, see that?
Yeah.
So I think it's a responsibility on both. Like, be mature enough to explain your jealousy, to express it, and also be mature enough to receive that person's
Yeah.
If you want to make it work. If you don't want to make it work, then
that's a whole other thing. But that's not what we preaching on this particular podcast. Okay. And also, jealousy is an emotion, and we need to make sure that we are very clear about that. Jealousy is an emotion.
Well, hold up. I am for that.
What?
Like, don't make it work. Because if you're going to be that selfish and everything, I feel like you're going to be more damaging to the relationship than you.
Just so we're clear, because this guy. But when I say make it work, this side of the podcast.
Yeah.
What I mean is that both people are doing it.
Oh, all right. I agree with her then.
Yeah. Both people want to be there. Both
Right.
people are yoked in carrying the load.
Well, you got some people that want to. Yeah, all right. Nah, there you go. That's good.
Go ahead, say what you was gonna say.
No, you got some people you want to be there, but you want it your way.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And so that's what I'm saying. If you want to be stubborn like that,
then you can go. But anyway,
because that might be what's healthy. But make it work. If you want to be there because you love the other person, yeah, make it work. Make the necessary adjustments.
Yeah. So we thank you guys for tuning in to the podcast. Another episode of Deep Skydiving.
Yep.
Boom, boom, boom.
Catch us next week.
Yes, catch us next week. Don't forget. Don't miss out.
Yeah.
We love y'all.
And next week's topic of discussion. Oh. This ought to be a good one.
What's that?
Y'all probably would love to hear this from two not married people. A little controversial for us, but what matters most in a marriage, the person or the purpose?
Oh, that's going to be a guest episode.
It's going to be a guest one?
Yeah.
Oh, well. All right, well, be looking for it then. I'm going to put it out there. So what matters most in a marriage, the person or the purpose? And there's a B-side to it, marriage. Is it for love or for business or for both? And so be looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
But if that isn't the next one, that it will come. But if that's not the next one that it will be released, then next time you see Darah now on here, it's going to be women making more than men. Stay-at-home dads.
Yo.
Issue or not, and can it work?
That's
like funny. Yeah, I think it's comical.
Very.
So,
all right, loves.
Y'all know what to find us.
Talk to y'all soon.
Peace.